Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, for all my old subbies, yo. For all my new subbies, yeah. For the people that don't know me, my name is Alexis, Lexxiis, but you can call me Lexi for short. By the title of the video, you already know what we're about to talk about. For the people that know, I like to get straight into the video. So backstory, I want to say about a year ago, around this time last year, yes, God really started preparing me for marriage. Okay, like marriage, I've always wanted to be married, but like it wasn't really something that was like, oh, I want to be married. Like I've had guys like talk about marriage and like honestly and stuff, and I never felt pressed to like I just always wanted to know if you wanted to be married. Like I don't want to waste my time. But like God started really pressing me for marriage, like preparing me, right? So in this time I was seeking God. Okay, I was seeking God. Like God ain't just said, oh, prepare for marriage or anything like that. I was seeking God, right? And it just kind of was like, oof. And my marriage preparation really tied in with me seeking God. Okay. So I was in like a little situation type thing, you feel me? It wasn't a bad situation, not at all. And this started to make me think about who I was and where I was going in my life. It made me like do a complete 180, like a complete 180. Never change yourself for a man unless it's for the better. I'm sorry. People are like, oh, you shouldn't change it. And I'm not saying for a man, but if you see a man or a person in general that has qualities and characteristics that are of godly principles, and you choose to say, hey, I don't like who I am, but I value the person that they are, and I want to switch some stuff up about myself and be more like them and more like Jesus, you have every right. I hate when people be like, oh, don't change. If it's for the better, why does it matter? If it's for the better and for you to be more like Jesus, why does it matter? When we said, oh, be your authentic self. If your authentic self is a contradiction of who Jesus is, baby girl, that's something, or baby boy, that is something that you've created that you need to fix. So that's my disclaimer, okay? That's my disclaimer. So that's kind of how this all kind of started, you feel me? And I'm gonna try to go in order because I talk in a tangent. I keep it a book. I'm not one of these professional people that I'm trying. I got my notebook, so you see me keep looking down. You feel me? I done tried to record this video so many times, but it just kept giving me new revelations and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, God, okay. So I'm gonna try to go ahead and get this out. So let's start off with number one. Number one, most obvious for the people that didn't catch on, seek God. Seek God. God, in this season where you're seeking God, you are learning to be submissive to God. He is going to guide you and lead you to places that you have no idea where you're going, what you about to do, how you about to do this. Like he is creating faith and endurance and obedience in you that will then trickle down to when you are married. Because when your man is being led by God, because you shouldn't marry a man that is not being led by God, because if he's not being led by God, he's being led by the enemy. If he is being led by God and he doesn't know where God is taking him, but he's just being obedient, by you following him, that level of uncomfortability, because as females, we like to know, like, but where we finna go? What we finna do? If you have already known what it looks like to follow God and not know exactly where you're going, and now you're in a relationship where a man is believing God and you don't know where you're going, you have a level of peace that another woman wouldn't have if she wasn't seeking God, because you know what it's like to be in his position. You know what it's like for it to be given an instruction by God and other people not know exactly what you got going on, but you got to be obedient regardless, because what God got for you on the other side is better than you could have ever imagined. So by you being able to like sit there and really just, okay, God, I know what he going through. You can be that peace, and you can be like, well, babe, if God told you to do this, this is how we gonna do, blah, 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 blah. And that's how your relationship will prosper, honestly, you know? This allows you also to learn discernment, right? Because in my season, oh my gosh, my discernment has become, like, I automatically know when a guy just wants me for sex. I know when a guy wants to be around me just because of my energy. That he don't got nothing to give me, but he just want to be around me for my energy. And I know what guys are going to suck that energy dry, or what guys that just genuinely need somebody that has light in them and that's just trying to switch directions, and they just need a good example. This discernment has been created in me where a guy can't just slick talk me. He can't run game on me. Be like, because you know, dudes be like, yeah, I believe in God. Yeah, I believe in God. Do you? You believe in God? Okay. Your fruits don't show that. Like, you are quick to anger. You have no patience at all. You don't know how to communicate. You know, you're not gentle. The way you're not quick to forgive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got so much resentment towards your past. And whether it be family members or people that has hurt you, like, you start to see, because you start to operate out of the fruits of the Spirit, because you are seeking God and you becoming more like Him and Jesus, where you start to look at people and realize, and not judge them, but realize you don't operate like God does. You can't be following Him and actively move the way you move. I ain't saying we're gonna be perfect. I'm not saying he never gonna get mad, that he gonna be a perfect type of person, but it's different when you realize somebody's trying and is actively trying to do something, and then somebody is just blatantly being disobedient. Like, there's no way you can honestly say that you're seeking God and you're being blatantly disobedient. That's crazy. Why would I want to follow you? Why would I want you to lead me? You understand what I'm saying? Like, why would I even want to be putting myself in this situation if you don't even care that you're disrespecting the Lord, that you don't even feel convicted that you're moving A, B, or C? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's scary. That's scary. So by me seeking God, I'm able to discern the good from the bad, the fig trees from the orange trees. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm learning to be submissive toward God and being obedient. So God will guide me in the right direction in order for me to pick the right type of person, the right where to go, because wherever that man I'm supposed to meet is at, as long as I'm following God, I will end up where I need to be at the perfect time. Ain't nothing worse than having to miss your husband like, your husband's supposed to be there because you were supposed to be there, but you all the way over here hanging with these people in this environment and doing this, and now you done missed your opportunity. So now you gotta, your promise is delayed because you continue to be disobedient. Ain't nothing worse than that. Like, damn, I could have already had it. Oh, dang, God, like, yeah, like, only if you would have listened. Only if you were seeking me and not the world and not culture and not the likes and the shares and the comments, and you sitting here trying to post how you look and da-da-da-da and your cutest outfits, and the man that I had sent for you don't care about that stuff. The man I sent you don't even got a social media, so you out here sitting here trying to impress people that ain't even the people that you're trying to, like, what? God is like, this girl, this dude is all on the wrong things. Like, if she was just in her purpose, I'm speaking as a female, if she was just in her purpose, if she was just doing and seeking me the way she was supposed to be seeking me, I would send her the right person. But she keep talking to these men that don't care about her, whatever the case may be, because she's letting the enemy lead her and guide her astray. Like, he's waiting on you to seek him so he can give you the promises that he wants for you. All right. Number 2, take 7. So, figuring out what that man looks like in the spiritual, physical, mental, financially, all that other stuff, and then becoming the woman that complements that. So women I'm speaking from a woman's perspective. I can't speak from a man's perspective because I am a man. So I'm gonna speak from a woman's perspective. But you intertwine it the best way you see fit. We have this thing where I want my man to be this, that, okay, if you get that man, does your life, who you are in general, compliment that man? Because if that man is wealthy, right, and that man is tall, and that man is built, and he's in the gym, and he has discipline and everything like that, and you don't know how to steward over anything, you don't lack any type of discipline, all you do is eat trash, eat bad, how you gonna cook for that man? That man not gonna be able to eat what you cook, because he don't eat that. He need his protein goal. He don't want a lot of fats and stuff in his on his plate. I'm not saying don't know how to cook that stuff, but you know what I'm saying, like, or if you don't know how to conduct yourself in a good manner, like when he has these business trips or business ordeals and he wants to invite you, and you don't know how to conduct yourself in a setting like that, he's not going to feel comfortable to take you certain places. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying you got to change who you are, but don't ask for a man in knowing for a fact that your lifestyle and who you are contradicts that. It is a conflict of interest. It's not going to work, no matter how much you like that person, how much y'all vibe, or whatever the case may be. So in that scene, when you're like, all right, God, I want this type of man, that you need to start creating those routines in your life. Like, okay, if this man is going to be working a lot, he needs to be able to come home to peace. He needs to be able to come home and be able to decompress, and just, you need to be able to take a load off of him, not add a load onto him. So with that being said, that means you need to learn how to cook. That means you need to learn how to clean. You need to be attentive, because if he's doing all this other stuff, if his shirts are faded, and you be like, oh dang, his shirt's starting to fade, let me go to Walmart to go get faded shirts. Not faded shirts, go get new shirts. His wife beater's starting to rip, okay, let me go to Walmart, or whatever the case may be, y'all, Calvin Klein, whatever, to go get this, you know. Oh, his protein powders is running out. All right, he was talking about this protein powder, let me go make sure, so he doesn't have to focus on the day-to-day life of, like, you're supposed to be finding ways to make his life easier. A man is supposed to need you. I'm sorry, but it's true. A man is supposed to need you, not just want you. A man is only going to stay if he needs you. So you have to find a way to be needed, and not mean just, doing stuff for him. Being a safe place to him, where he can talk and decompress without you using whatever he said in confidence to him when y'all have an argument, like against him while you have an argument. Like, the women that do that, y'all be wild. Like, using what a man has said to you in confidence and just throwing it back in his face when you're mad is wild. Is wild. You need to repent immediately. Because to do that to anybody in general is crazy. But I'm a firm believer, do not plant seeds in people, because they will be watered. Whether it be by other people, whether it be by God, whether it be by themselves, it will be watered. And y'all be wanting these things to be watered. Y'all just be planting seeds and think that they just not gonna grow. That's crazy. Do not do that. So let me get back on track. So with that being said, that means you need to learn to create peace within yourself. You need to watch your mouth. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. Watch your mouth. You don't need to be talking to people in general crazy, especially your mans. You understand? That looks like, let me go to my notes because I'm forgetting stuff. I already had that much stuff on that part. But what's the call again? Learning to be a lady. Like, I understand we want to be independent, we want to be bosses, but men want to be men. Men want to feel like men. Like, I have so many brothers and sisters. I have 11 brothers and sisters. And the brothers that I have, they be like, let me be your brother. Oh my God, let me be the guy. Let me take out the trash. I be like, I got it. And they be like, I got it. Let me be your brother. Like, the fact that my brother just wants to be my brother is crazy. So imagine your man not allowing you to feel like a man because you want to do his job. Like, I don't know, but in my past, I remember like when I would cook and my ex would come home and he would have food, whatever. I'm like, I cooked or whatever. Like, oh, I didn't know, I didn't realize, da da da. And it would happen so often. I'm like, I'm cooking. And then he'd be like, and he liked my food. He would just be like, I mean, but I don't need you to cook. Like when I go out there and if I get something at 6 o'clock and I get there something at 8 o'clock, I'm not gonna want to eat at 8 o'clock. He didn't eat a lot. And I was like, well, I cooked. And he was just like, yeah, but I don't need you to. And I'm like, what am I here for? What am I here for? Like, I would feel some type of way because I feel like I had a role to play and he wasn't allowing me to play my role. So I felt like, well, later on the line, what is going to be my, what's the word? My role, my position. Like, am I a necessity? I mean, granted, that's a whole different situation in itself. But if I felt like that, and I've talked to multiple females, and females feel like this, imagine how your man feels when you don't allow him to be a man. He will quickly find a woman that allows him to play his role to make him feel like a man. So stop trying to play the role that you're not meant to play. Okay? Like when they say, put me in the game, coach, you will be able to play certain roles when you need to, but for the most part, let the quarterback be the quarterback. Let the receiver be the receiver. For the people that don't know football, let the libero be the libero. You feel me? Let the setter be the setter. I hope y'all can get it if y'all did football and volleyball, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. You feel me? Let the base be the base. Let the back spot be the back spot. For my cheerleaders. I did a lot of sports. Okay, so that's number 2. Like, just find a man that compliments you. Okay? And vice versa. Number 3, falling in love with yourself and who God has called you to be. It kind of ties into number 1 because you'll start seeing yourself like how God sees you and start feeding your mind, your soul, your spirit, and your mental according to the will that God has for you. Okay? Oh, read my notes. So self-love, right? So people have this misconstrued idea that self-love is just only getting my nails done, make sure my hair looks nice, and my toes, and even going to the gym. That's cool, and that is a form of self-love. But what you feed your spirit, your soul, and your mind is self-love as well. If you can't be like, oh, I'm seeking God, and then you out here listening to Megan Thee Stallion, you out here listening to Doja Cat, and all these people, and Beyonce, and all this other stuff, and it is a contradiction of how you live every day. Like, you in your Bible, you doing this, you doing that, but then right when you get in the car, you become a whole lot gay. I used to be this person, so I ain't judging you. I'm not judging you. You feel me? But it is insane. I'm sorry. It is insane for you to feed your mind and spirit and soul the exact opposite of what God wants to feed it, and think that you are going to produce the fruits that God wants to produce in you. Like, if you talking about scamming niggas, if you talking about sex all the time and promiscuity, you are subconsciously, because music is frequency, right? Music, these choruses are mantras. They are mantras. Michael Jackson had a whole video about this. These are mantras that these music artists are saying, and you're saying this over and over, and you're repeating it over and over, and you sing this song, like even when the song not on, you repeating it. Subconsciously, you're feeding your spirit and your soul these beliefs, these ideologies, these stories, like these and some of them really just be talking about their life and everything like that, but it's promoting violence and anger and stress, and you're feeding your soul and your spirit this, and think that you're going to produce the opposite. That's not self-love. Like, you can't say, I'm going to the gym and every day I'm going to eat hot Cheetos, hot sausages, and hot this and this and da-da-da-da, and think that you're going to produce the body that you want. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I'm not saying that every once in a while when you're put in an environment where you just can't help it and you're listening to it and you bopping your head and cool, like you shouldn't be like, oh my God. I'm not saying that. But what you feed your soul and your spirit and your mental every day on a daily basis will obviously outweigh what you listen to or what you feel every once in a while. Like, it's okay to have a cheat day. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to have a cheat day, but not actively sin. Like, I'm meaning, like, if you're around your friends and your family and you're at a wedding and they get to pick the playlist, you can't be like, I can't listen to this, Be for real. You get what I'm saying? You're still in the world, you're just not of the world. So I hope that makes sense. Ooh, my leg hurt. Okay, so then another example would be the little disciplines, right? We talked about watching our mouth, but we also need to talk about making joy your job. Your joy is your job. It is not nobody else's job to make you happy. They're supposed to add on to you, okay? They are supposed to add on to you. So whatever, you need to create an atmosphere that is accommodating to you. Example, right? My joy is my job. So I get to choose the hiring committee. I get to choose, you know, who does what and what roles they play. For my job, my joy, you know, because my joy is my job, to be the best that it could be. Okay? So if I have a friend that is constantly showing up late, I can't depend on this person. This person is always either making me question my belief, or I'm always having to give that person the benefit of the doubt, and I'm always constantly having to like put myself in sticky situations to accommodate that person. That person is now taking away from my joy. I am now operating at my full potential. Guess what? That person got to be fired. That person got to go. That person has to go. Boundaries. You feel me? Doesn't respect your boundaries. That person gotta go. Like little things, like it's not just, oh, taking myself out to the movies and, you know, me dates and stuff. It's who you have around you, the things that you're doing, the things that you're consuming. You know, imagine if the disciples that Jesus picked and chose, you feel me, were following him and continuously sinning the way they were sinning before they met him. It's different before you met God and stuff like that, but when you've actually seeking God and you're following him and you're actively sinning, you're going to sin. We're sinful at nature. And there's certain things you're gonna have to repent immediately. God gonna continue to forgive you. He's gonna give you grace. But to give you grace and to constantly overlook the things that you are intentionally doing is different. Y'all be thinking like, oh, well, God said come as I am. You could come as you are, don't mean you finna get to heaven. That's a whole different situation or subject in itself. That idea, oh yeah, God's gonna say, if he's saying you followed my op this entire time and now you die and you think you finna come live with me and my peoples? Be for real. Oh, well, God, you told me to come as I am. I also told you to be like Jesus. I also gave you the fruits of the Spirit. I also told you, I gave you this book. I gave you my word. I told you what it was. I had a purpose for you. You chose to do you, boo-boo, because culture told you that's what you should do. And look where you at, begging for my help, begging for you to live an eternal, blissful life for the rest of your life. Kisa? No. Self-love is picking you, but in the way Jesus picked himself. Like Jesus loved his disciples. Every once in a while, he had to go to the mountain of what? Mount Sinai. And please don't quote me on that, but I really think that's one of the mountains he went to, because I be getting confused with the names. I just be making up names sometimes because I don't be knowing how to say them. To like pray to God and have his time and stuff like that. Like boundaries are good. That is a form of self-love and standing on business, standing on kingdom business. Like all year, I'm like, oh, I'm standing on kingdom business. Kingdom business is written on the bottom of my shoe, okay? I'm standing on kingdom business all year. And I don't care how you feel about it. I'm not going to be rude or disrespectful about it, but I'm going to be honest. I'm gonna tell you when you're messing up. I'm gonna tell you that I don't see this going any further because one, you don't benefit me, and I don't feel that I can continue to benefit you if you are just causing me havoc and pain and stress, or I can't depend on you. I cannot afford to have friends that I can't depend on in this season of my life, because y'all gonna either make or break me. And that brings me to number 3. Creating a faith-based, the lisp. Like I got a lisp. Creating a faith-based community. Your community matters. So I don't have a lot of people in my family that truly seek and believe God. They say they believe God, but what I mean by you got believe God and followers of Christ. Oh, I'm Christian, but do you really follow Christ? Do you really know his word and live by it? It's a difference to me. And then I have certain people in my family on the opposite side where they don't really believe in God. Like, they believe the idea of it, but like they're so far from him, you know? And I was not pushed to believe in anything. Like, my mom very spiritual, you know, she believes in God and stuff like that. But growing up, like my mom, like my sisters don't believe in God. So I wasn't something that was embedded in me. And that created a lot of rifts in my relationships, how I saw things, what I tolerated, how I lived my life, and things in that sort. And I'm actually kind of grateful because I know that the journey I'm on is completely my choice and it wasn't something that was forced onto me. But I do wish I had that structure, because it says in the Bible, you know, you teach your kids the way to go, so when they leave, you know, dang, I gotta put the exact scripture I'm talking about, because I'm really bad at like saying stuff verbatim. But I know I'd be knowing what they mean. You feel me? Basically, teach your kids correctly so they don't stray from you in the future, stray from in the future. But I'm gonna put the quote right there. So let's say God brings you your kingdom spouse. And kingdom spouse, they got this whole this kingdom spouse journey. But I believe that if you are seeking the kingdom and God sends you a spouse, he's your kingdom spouse. I'm sorry. It's just like, if I'm in the will of God, we may not have the same journeys. You feel me? You may not be going through everything like these videos be saying and stuff like that. But God has a man for you. And as long as you're seeking the kingdom and he has blessed that marriage, that is your kingdom spouse. Sorry, but that's just what it is to me. I'm sorry. Unless you can actually prove to me otherwise, that's where I stand on it. But anywho, if think about it like this. So if God sends you your spouse, right? And you are listening to everybody else. Like, let's say your friends don't really believe in God like that, or your family members, and they be like, oh, slow it down. If you are seeking God, God will let you know, oh yeah, you can go get married in 5 months. That's fine, because that's the man I have for you. Like, y'all had already did all the work that y'all need to do. It's not gonna take y'all long to get married. But if you sit here listening to other people and you like, oh, I should wait, and you tell that man no and all this other stuff, you are literally messing up God's timeline. Like, God he always got to back up for a backup, because that's how God is. You feel me? But it's kind of like when you're in a season where you want something or you're seeking something and you're not seeking God for revelation, people will mess it up for you. Or it can be the opposite, where God is telling you to wait. Like, you need to pray about this man first. You need to ask for my confirmation first. And the person's like, oh, your family member's like, oh, he's everything that you wanted, and he's this and he's good, and da-da-da-da-da, and you should be with him. And you just, all right, you're going to go with what they say instead of seeking God. And guess what? That man is probably abusive. That man probably been playing y'all the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you don't ever want to move ahead of God, and your community matters. So if you are having a community that believes in what you believe, they will be able to hold you accountable. Like, I like him too, but pray about it. I'm gonna pray about it with you. You want people that's gonna be able to intercede for you. You're gonna want people that's gonna intercede for your marriage in the best way possible. Because let's say y'all do get married, and that community that you've created before you've gotten married, will be the people to save your marriage. Like when you on the rocks, they be like, okay, how are we gonna do it like this? Okay, maybe we're gonna try this, maybe we're gonna try that, because they believe in what the Bible say. Like, no, God brought you this man, y'all gonna make this work. Those people that's gonna sit here and be in the trenches with y'all because they believe in the God that you believe in. That's the type of community you want. Because if you get the opposite community, girl, he ain't doing this, yeah, you should leave him. Oh, you don't want them type of people in your relationship, in your marriage. And if you create that foundation of the opposite of what God wanted you for that community, when you do get that man, it is going to be very hard to like separate yourself when you get that man, because then you're gonna be called fake, you're gonna be this, and then now they praying on your downfall. Separate yourself within a season where that rift has already happened, and then God brings you your man. You'll have less ammunition, less conflict, less, I don't know what's the word, tension, when God starts to give you your blessings. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Yeah, because if you want God to bless it, he got to be the one doing the matchmaking. Like, I'm not even gonna cap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you have a whole bunch of Judases taking you to the wrong spots, meaning like, instead of you being at a church function, you at the club where your husband is not at, but your husband was gonna be here. He said they take you to the wrong environments. Guess what? You've now missed your opportunity to meet the man that you have, that God has for you, all because you was in the wrong place. The right people will have you in the right places, and the wrong people will have you in the wrong places. Understand that? Okay, so now, number 5. I feel like I could never do that right. I don't know. Don't rush it. Don't rush it, because you're going to mess it up. You're going to mess it up. So, it's like pickles. The longer it sit, the better it get. For my Haitians that know. For the people that don't know, it's spicy. But the longer it sits in the refrigerator or outside, depending on how you like your pickles, I like mine cold. The longer it sits, the better it gets. Like, it gets spicier, it marinates. It's just like when you season food and you put it in the refrigerator, and the longer it marinates and it gets all those in the meats and within the bone. Like, you ever eat something and then you want to eat the bone because the seasoning, the juices done really got into the bone marrow? That's how you know it done sat. That's what God doing. God is like, I need you to sit, I need you to wait. I need you to wait. Because what I got for you is marinating. It's marinating. Like it's like oxtail. It's going to be falling off the bone. You feel me? Woo! It's going to be so good when you get it. If you wait. Because if I give it to you and I season it right now, put it in the oven, give it to you, it's going to be good. But it ain't going to be great. And I ain't make you wait this long to give you something mid. I'm gonna get you right. I'm gonna get you right? So let him take his time. Let him take his time. Everything that come Amazon Prime ain't the best. Boo-boo. Ain't always the best. I do love me some Amazon Prime though. But sometimes you gonna get DHL. They come in 2 to 3 business days, so sometimes you gonna get UPS. And sometimes it's gonna be a storm, depending on where it's coming from, where it's gonna have to like go through customs or whatever the case may be. That's DHL, not UPS. But yeah, it's gonna have to go through customs and stuff like that, and it's gonna get hold off, and then you're gonna be sitting waiting like, oh my God. But then when you get it, you're gonna be happy, right? Because God wants what He has for you to last. He wants it to last, and He wants you to become a whole person. So your rib can finally glow and shine when your mate or your spouse comes to you. So this is how I look at it, right? I'm building up myself, you feel me? And every day I'm becoming, like, more pieces are aligning and I'm becoming a whole person. I'm more confident in who I am. I'm more myself than I ever been. Like, I didn't even know I wasn't myself when I was 16, 17. So I didn't know. You feel me? Like, I didn't know. So it's just like, now that God is giving these pieces that I didn't even know was missing, I'm starting to create this. When God unveils the man that he has for me, eyes, because sometimes you know this person, you know what I'm saying, but their eyes just haven't been unveiled. You feel me? Like, they kind of like this, but then their eyes gonna be open. And because my rib is not shiny yet, like, I feel like once you become like the version that God wants you to be, and you become whole, and you become secure and content in your singleness, and you're Gucci, you're gonna constantly be changing. That's whatever. But like, once you become a whole person, and God is like, all right, bet. It's like that rib that he took from Adam. So that rib that is your spouse's, because he's a whole person missing a rib. You're a whole person with his rib, you feel me? And that rib can only shine when he's a whole person and when you're a whole person. And it's just like, okay, boom, now it activates. Like, I really hope y'all understand in my analogy how I'm looking at it and thinking about it. And it activates, and then the rib starts to glow. And then he's like, oh shoot, it was her the whole time. Or, oh shoot, like, I see her. Like, immediately, like, you know how some men be like, oh, I'm gonna marry you. Like, oh, I just knew she was gonna be my wife when I met her. You feel me? Like, they just know off bat, because that rib, that metaphorical, you know, whatever, just shines, and just, it's just like, bet, I know who you are. You know what I'm saying? But if you are at like 20%, 30%, that rib ain't gonna glow. Y'all could know each other, you could know your husband, and he is just not gonna see you. He is not gonna see you. He gonna be like, he probably even think like, maybe I do like her. But I don't know, like, I need to be sure. And he ain't gonna be sure until that rib glow. I'm just saying, and vice versa. You feel me? Like, that man is not for you. God won't even allow you to see him the way he needs you to see him. Like, you ever just like dated a guy or whatever, and it's just like, all of a sudden, I just was like, I was attracted to him. Like, all of a sudden, like, I never saw him anything more than a friend. And then I saw him more than a friend. And it's just like, oh my God. Like, and then now we're together. Like, but for years, I didn't see him because God had you hidden. He had you hidden. You weren't glowing, or he wasn't glowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I see it. But yeah. You have to wait, y'all. Like, we are so impatient. And my thing is, I just feel like I'm so happy that I am content in my single season, where I won't settle for anything. I won't settle for friendships. I won't settle for jobs. Because I know that if I'm not content in it and I'm not happy with it, and I've prayed about it, God will either remove it or he will change my heart posture. So if God is letting me know, like, I got a man for you, because this is what I told you, and that he's a man that he shall not lie. I trust that, because everything else has been correct. So why would I think he's lying about this? Like, y'all, I'm in this apartment. For the people that watched that video, if y'all don't go back and watch that video about being obedient, when I was talking about how God blessed me with this apartment. Being obedient. God always has something better in store for you than what you've imagined. So stop thinking like, oh, but God, you know, this is the God, like, bro, tell you to freaking wait. Just wait. Just wait. Be patient. Be content. Continue to seek him and new revelations and stuff like that, because it's something that in this season that he is building in you that you are going to need in your next season, when that man does come to you, or when that woman does come to you. And without it, your relationship probably will fail. So God is trying to give you all the tools and all the training stuff and everything that he needs to give you. So when you get onto the floor, like I used to work at a call center, they get you a training. They tell you to do this, da, da, da. So when you get on the floor, you're prepared. I really hope y'all understand my analogies. But yeah, So wait. So okay, so let's go back over just to make sure that we got, because it was a lot. Okay, so number one was, let's see if y'all remember, seek God. Yes, we seek God first in everything that we do. You feel me? Seek him and everything will be given onto you, added onto you. 2, figuring out what the man or woman that you want looks like in every way possible, and then finding a way to complement that. I don't know how to title that shorter, but y'all get what I'm saying. 3, fall in love with who God called you to be and who you are, and becoming the best version of yourself. 4, creating a faith-based community, because this will make or break all your relationships or your business, all that. You know, it's very important. And 5, being patient, not rushing it. That's not rushing it. So I really do hope that I helped somebody or gave somebody a different perspective on what preparing for marriage looks like, because it's not always just cooking and cleaning and da-da-da-da. Like, it's not just sitting and just waiting for a man to just pop up. No, there's literal things that you need to be doing in this season before God will provide you your husband. He's doing things on the guy's end too. I'm not a guy, so I don't know what that look like. But yeah, But if you liked this video, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that. You feel me? Click the bell notification so you never miss a video, because it's another Lex Talk Tuesdays, and I'm gonna see y'all next Tuesday. Don't miss out, because God be giving me some stuff, some little snippets, and I be trying to share it with y'all. So I just want to share it with y'all the best way I know how. Because of the people that be putting stuff in the comments, I really be praying for y'all, and y'all stories and stuff like that encourages me to keep going, because I seen a post earlier. It was saying, oh, my home is in heaven. I'm just here recruiting. And I felt that. I feel like videos like this on YouTube help me. So I just want to help y'all. Yeah, I'm talking too much. But other than that, man, y'all stay blessed, and what? Y'all flex with Lex. Deuces.